everybody, it's Joy from the Women's AI Visibility Institute, and this week we are focusing on bias on ChatGPT, Gemini, and Perplexity. Today we're going to focus on Gemini and how Gemini handles bias in the data. So with ChatGPT, we talked about historical training data, and it inherited the bias in the data. Gemini is a little bit different, and Gemini really gives recognition to the individual attorney on the knowledge panel. And if you think about putting your name into Google, does the knowledge panel on the right hand side come up? If so, Gemini will have enough information to state who you are. So do that first. Do a live demo. Search your own name. Does a box with a photo or bio pop up on the right? If so, your entity has been established. If not, and our research tells us almost no one does, Google needs proof that you're a distinct person and not just a name on a firm roster. So it's not going to give you the credentials of a knowledge panel if it can't verify who you are. In our Florida research, 0 out of 382 attorneys had full recognition and only one came close. So if you think about Google not being able to verify who you are, then there's problems with the data. So let's talk about that a little bit. And I took some notes because I wanted to be able to explain it. ChatGPT was pretty easy to understand in terms of historical data. That all makes sense. Gemini is a little bit different, and it talks about entity resolution. So in other videos, I've talked about if your bar license had one name on it and you got married and you changed your name or hyphenated your name, if you got divorced and went back to your married name or got remarried again, it's like AI is trying to track who you are through all these iterations of your name, and it's very difficult. As opposed to someone who has had the same name since high school, right? Every time your name shows up online, on your firm's site, in a news article, on a bar association listing, on LinkedIn, Google has to decide whether all those mentions are talking about the same individual. If your name is spelled consistently, if there's enough overlapping details, same firm, same city, same practice area, tying those mentions together, and if enough independent sources, key, back each other up, Google gets confident enough to say this is one distinct real person and builds a profile for her. That is entity resolution. If there's not enough consistent overlapping proof, maybe your name is spelled differently in different places. Maybe there's another attorney with a similar name in a different city. Maybe most of what's online about her only exists on her firm's website and nowhere else independently. Google doesn't have enough confidence to merge everything into a one clear picture of a person. So if it doesn't build the profile, not because it decided against her, but because it was never confident enough to say, yes, this is her. The simplest way to say it is Google isn't asking if she's a good attorney. Google is asking if this is a real specific person. So when you have all this information that it's pulling from, because Google isn't just taking your website from as gospel, it's pulling that information is inherently biased. So we know from directories they don't provide information equally for men and women. That data is biased. So if you think about all the incoming information to Gemini, it's not neutral, it's biased. And that's how Gemini handles bias in the data, by making sure you have an entity resolution and you can be shown when someone Googles your name. That one was a little bit more difficult. So if you want to talk about that or want some more information about that, please reach out. My name is Joy. I'm the CEO and founder of WAVE Institute. My email address is joy@wavinstitute.com. Thanks so much for your time.